Hello and welcome to Badminton Weekly with me, Jasmine Lim. With the conclusion of the Sathya Group Australia Open on Sunday, the race to Hangzhou also closed. Indonesia's successful run in Sydney meant they were able to secure 2 of the 3 remaining spots for the HSBC BWF World Tour Finals. Let's take a look at who's made the cut. Starting with men's singles, and Kodai Naraoka of Japan booked the 8th and final spot after Lin Chunyi failed to win the title in Sydney. Kunlavut Vititsan leads the charge as the top seed, with Li Shifeng, Cho Tian-chen and Anders Antonsen rounding off the top 4 seeds. In women's singles, An Se-young will be top seed after securing her 10th World Tour title of the season at the Australian Open. China, Japan and Thailand see 2 players making the top 8 and Sydney runner-up Putri Kusumawardani completing the finals list. Men's doubles saw Indonesia's Fajral Alfian and Muhammad Shahibul Fikri impressively secure the last spot and are the second Indonesian representatives in Hangzhou. Malaysia's Chia So and Man Thi will be seated among the top 4, with Korea's Kim In-seo securing top spot. The story of the discipline, though, is Alfian and Fikri making the cut in less than 6 months since pairing up.
Ya, kami tidak menyangka ya bisa lolos quarter final. Memang saya juga tadinya bersama Fikri hanya mengisi kekosongan saja di pertandingan Cina dan Jepang pertamanya. Partner saya Rian berhalangan bisa mengikuti kejuaraan karena urusan keluarga, dan Rian juga Fikri juga
Danielnya mengalami
cedera ya, jadi memang itu hanya mengisi kosongan saja buat kami berdua, tapi di China Open 1000 kami bisa juara, dan ya dari tim pelatih, tim PBSI juga mau mencoba lagi untuk kami, dan akhirnya kami bisa sesingkat ini dalam 5 bulan lebih kami bisa lolos World Tour Final. Itu di luar dugaan kami. Dari awal kami memang tidak ada target untuk World Tour Final karena ya pertamanya untuk mengisi kekosongan aja.
Women's doubles will be led by Malaysians Pearly Tan and Tina Muralitharan. Korea, China and Japan will be represented by 2 pairs, with Kim In-kong, Liu En-tan and Xian Zhang seeded 2 to 4. Chinese Taipei's Xie Pei-shan and Hong En-su qualify for their first HSBC BWF World Tour Finals. Finishing with mixed doubles and the semi-finals at the Australian Open was a shootout for the final spot for Hangzhou between Hidayatullah Pasaribu and Opthong Suchai Praparat, with the Indonesians battling past the Thai pair to secure their place. Thailand, though, will still be represented by top seeds Pravarwanakro Phuisampran. There is no doubt it's been a breakthrough season for Jafar Hidayatullah and Felicia Alberta Nathaniel Pasaribu. From winning their first HSBC BWF World Tour title to qualifying for the season-ending finals for the first time and breaking into the top 10 in the world after a run-up finish at the Australian Open. Selena Peak is very impressed by the growth the pair have shown in their first full season on the Elite Tour.
I think they should be really proud of the result, because they have had an extremely good week, a solid week, where they were under a lot of pressure because they could claim their final spot of the World Tour Finals, which is a huge thing, because only the 8 best pair in the world will qualify for that. And they have beat some really good pairs along the way. They didn't have an easy draw, not one easy round, I must admit. And when they won at quarterfinal against Matthias and Alexander, who are really in a very good shape at the moment, I think that's really impressive to pull off a victory like that when you know you also need to win this round to set up a small chance of qualifying, because then the semi-finals they actually had to play the Thai pair who they were competing with. So from my point of view, making a final is always good, even though they lost the final. Forget about that. You will earn a shot at the World Tour Finals, which is something that's really amazing. And I think especially in the past few months, they have become way more solid, and especially mentally, which is the toughest part. Because on this level, we all can play badminton, but it's the ones who can adapt the fastest to the circumstances. And I feel like they have been doing that pretty well. So if they can keep up this level and this energy they have in the game and that little bit of fearless feeling, I think they can be a very good challenging pair for the World Tour.
Hidayatullah and Pasaribu lost to world champions Cheng Tangjie and Toh Wei in the Australian Open finals in straight games, which meant the Malaysians secured their first tour title of the season without dropping a game all week. Selena Peak believes it couldn't have come at a better time for Chen and Toh ahead of Hangzhou.
Looking at this week, they were the favorites. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But also the way they won the tournament, that stand out for me the most. I don't think they have been really being troubled by any of those. And I think that shows the maturity in their game and also their standard. I must say their lowest standard has been raised up, because we all knew they were a challenging couple. I think this sets them up perfectly, because winning gives confidence. We all know that. And they have had a solid week in Australia. They won their first World Tour title of the season. So like I said before, they must be in good shape and also must be feeling well. And always, if you qualify for the World Tour final, that's something, it's like a bonus, right? And in what better feeling is it to be present at the World Tour finals when you just won the last tournament? Yeah, I think they could do some magic again in China.
The Australian Open delivered some stunning results on finals day, with breakout performances from Indonesians Rose and Setyaningrum in women's doubles, as well as Indra and Jokin in men's doubles. Both pairs winning the biggest titles of their young careers in Sydney. Meanwhile, in men's singles, Lakshya Sen found the title breakthrough he was looking for this year, winning his first tournament of 2025 by beating Yushi Tanaka in straight games in the final. Jeff, though, is glad to see the Indian back on the top of the podium.
If you asked me who would take out the men's singles title in Australia this year, Lakshya Sen wouldn't have been on the top of my mind at all. I was really surprised with his result this year, and I was also surprised about how easily he dispatched of Tanaka in the finals too. Look, it's always difficult to come back this late in the year after having such a mediocre year. Sometimes it's easier just to accept, hey look, 2025 wasn't a good year for me, I'll set my sights on 2026. But look, he's really come back and shown real grit and determination. His year's been dominated by persistent and recurring injuries of his back and his ankle as well. It forced him to withdraw from tournaments, it causes disruption in his training schedule and overall in the consistency of any of his performances as well. I think it's really admirable how he's been able to fight back, bring up his confidence and win the Australian Open this year. It will do him so much good to know that he still has it in him. Lakshya Sen walked out onto the finals with such great focus from the very first point. He did not give Tanaka an inch, so much so that for the entirety of both of the games, he was never behind in the scoreboard. And I think that was his strategy too, to get the lead early, to keep the scoreboard pressure on Tanaka, stay patient, steady and smart, which is what he did. He didn't go for too much when the opportunities weren't there, so he didn't make too many unforced errors, but when there were opportunities to attack, he took them with both hands. He rained down some very heavy and very accurate smashes towards the lines. I think that taking the first game for Sen was so important from a mental perspective as well. Tanaka hadn't actually lost a first game for the whole tournament, all the way up to the finals. So planting that seed of doubt in Tanaka's head by winning that first game, I think was extremely advantageous from a Sen point of view. Sen was also better in those flat, fast exchanges, winning most of those when they were driving and kind of playing at each other hard. And he just grew more and more in confidence as the match went on. I think that overall, Tanaka was just overwhelmed by Sen's dominance and intensity and the fact that he just didn't have any breathing room at all. As Lakshya Sen just put his foot on the pedal, got further ahead on the scoreboard, Tanaka started to go for more in his shots, trying to hit closer to the lines, put more pressure on Sen, but that resulted in so many more unforced errors from the Japanese racket. Towards the end of the second game, you could see that Tanaka had just lost all confidence and belief, and he just gave Sen a flurry of errors easy shots that let him just cruise to the finish line. I think that Lakshya Sen's runner-up finish in Hong Kong and then now winning the title in Sydney have certainly raised the hopes that he's on his way back. These last 2 months have really shown glimpses of the player who we saw back in 2022 who raised basically up to the world number 6 position. He's definitely not at that level yet, I don't think, especially in consistency, but I think that only time will tell. So if he can carry this momentum to the end of the year into next year, and most importantly, if he can stay injury-free and fit, I think there's every reason to believe that the best of Lakshya Sen is still ahead of us.
Sabar Khayaman Gutama and Mohammad Reza Pahlavi Isfahani's run in Sydney ended in the semi-finals at the hands of their compatriots, Alfian and Fikri. Despite things not going their way at the Super 500 event, Gutama and Isfahani have plenty to be happy about, having already qualified for the season-ending HSBC BWF World Tour Finals. It will be their second straight appearance in Hangzhou, with Hendra Setiawan once again by their side as coach and mentor.
Mungkin waktu dia sebelum retire, dia kan sudah tidak latihan di national team, dia latihan dengan kita berdua, ya kita sering ngobrol-ngobrol, terus kita kan nggak ada coaching juga, terus kita coba discuss sama dia gimana kalau bantu kita untuk jadi coach gitu, kira-kira bersedia nggak gitu Kohendra, dan alhamdulillahnya Kohendra bersedia, dan mungkin kita berdua salah satu fansnya Kohendra juga selama kita di national team, sampai kita di luar juga. Kohendra salah satu legend yang semua orang juga mengidolakan beliau, dan kita bisa di coaching, kita bisa dibimbing, jadi kita sangat berkesan sih, kita sangat berterima kasih juga.
Ya mungkin sebelum pertandingan kita suka berkumpul sama Kohendra juga, membahas pertandingan, analisa, dan mungkin itu sih kita juga harus tahu kan, karena permainan lawan kan suka berbeda-beda, jadi mungkin juga Kohendra kasih instruksi untuk kita. Di posisi Kohendra sekarang, kita jadi dari segi latihan, dari segi tanggung jawab pastinya lebih tertata lagi, karena Kohendra kan sekarang juga udah punya program latihan yang bagus untuk kita berdua, jadi itu sih saya juga sangat seneng bisa di coaching sama Kohendra.
Iya, dan Kohendra juga panggil physical training untuk kita berdua, jadi kita tidak hanya di dalam lapangan, tapi di physicalnya juga kita dijagain terus sama Kohendra dan coach fisik.
Mungkin dari saya Seo Sung Jae, mungkin dari cara bermainnya sangat safe dia di lapangan.
Dia punya kontrol yang bagus, dia punya power bagus, dan dia setiap dia match itu dia selalu fokus dan selalu safe gitu. Jadi kita tidak gampang untuk attack dia.
Mungkin kalau dari saya waktu perebutan tiket World Tour Final waktu di China Masters. Waktu itu kalau nggak salah kita harus masuk 8 besar atau semifinal, dan kita lihat drawingnya di babak awal juga kita harus lawan Liang Wenkeng dan Wan Chan di China sendiri, jadi itu mungkin beban tersendiri untuk saya sendiri, jadi ya itu sih yang sangat berkesan dan bisa sampai final di China Master itu.
Mungkin kalau dari saya, waktu World Tour Final last year, ketika perebutan ke semifinal lawan Aaron Wui, kita tidak boleh lepas satu set pun, jadi kita harus menang straight set kalau kita harus lolos, dan itu kita menang straight set, dan ya itu salah satu yang berkesan sih untuk saya.
That's it for the show today. Join us next week as we look at the main stories coming out of the Side Modi International. In the meantime, stay up to date with the latest news by downloading our BWF app, Badminton for You. And as always, let us know your thoughts, comments, and questions on our Facebook and YouTube pages. Bye for now.